First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, always thought of and remembered. I'm your host, Vator Games with Vator Games TV. This is Manchester City fan match reaction. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Thank you all for tuning in. Those showing love right from the jump, you know I gotta show love back. Thank you so very much, my man Dre P in the building. He goes, very underwhelming UCL performance. Too many subs. Leverkusen were good, but not that good. Many sloppy moments in the second half, but City couldn't score not one goal. Don't mind losing, but not like that. Dre P, I gotta agree with a lot that you had to say. And I see you guys in the comments, good looking out. I have to agree with a lot that you have to say. Now, I'm going to say this real quick. I try to do my part as a fan. In terms of encouraging the players, obviously encouraging the manager, being supportive with regards to when you see the starting lineup and what may happen, right? We're not on the training pitch. We don't know what Pep may see, what Pep may be looking to do. Sam, good looking out. I see you in the building. Abdallah, I see you as well. Good looking out. Blue, thank you all for being part of the show. But this is the thing. We don't see what's on the training pitch. So at the start, with the starting lineup, I'm kind of like, let me see what you got going on, Pep. Let me see. I don't know, but let me see. All right. I also do my part as a fan. Listen, I was watching the game. In the Paul Dickoff. I was watching in the original. Well, not the original, but the brought back last season. I was watching and I was like, we're not playing well. So and I do a few things, if you want to call me superstitious or whatever, but I do a few things. I went and changed kits. And that still didn't change anything. I also do a thing, and I got this from playing basketball. If my shot was off, I'd go wash my hands, when subbed off or halftime, I'd wash my hands and then I'd be back fresh. I'd be hitting. None of that worked. And I got to go back to the starting 11. If you're not following me on Twitter X, please go and do so. But I messaged from the jump. So I don't want anyone being like, I'm inconsistent or anything like that. But I did say, I was like, what you cooking, Pep? ? What you cooking? The bench looked like good soup. Now, this is an inside joke. The bench looked really good. It looked really good, just like good soup. And I was like, hopefully we wouldn't need the bench to chase the game. Essentially is what I put out there. But the 11 had me wondering. The 11 had me asking, like, what might Pep be doing with it, right? Like, to be completely honest with you, what was Pep trying to do with it? And there was a lot of changes, a lot. Changing in keeper, surprising, especially from a Champions League standpoint. I see the comments. I'm going to get to the comments. Thanks for tuning in. But changing keeper, I found surprising, all right? Stones, Ake, okay. I mean, healthy. They should contribute. They played at big games before. Kind of calm with that one. Kostanov, okay, maybe getting that experience at right back in this Champions League. To make 4 changes in the back line, adventurous, courageous, brave. I don't know. Silly. I don't know. Massive changes in that back 4. Concerns there, but again, Pep seeing some things. I'm sure he's been drilling them. I'm sure also based off the effort that was put in versus Newcastle game, and knowing that we have an important league game as well with regards to Leeds to deal with, maybe that's where the thinking's coming from. Well, I'm looking to see what they do. All right, Nori, our summer signing, I want to see him in action. I want to see how he can perform. Now, when you also have Nico Gonzalez playing another game, and again, I think he had support with Reinders, but he played another game. And we know that from a 6 standpoint, he's on his own. We don't have Roger right now. He's pretty much on his own. Kovacic still needs some time. But we had Nico Gonzalez, we had Reinders, and then when we look at having Savinho, having Oscar Bob, having Marmouche, and having Rico Lewis, it was like, okay, Pep, how are you going to set these guys all up? How are you going to, and again, to see Marmouche playing centrally, yeah, let's kind of come with it. Oscar Bob, Savino playing on the wings, okay, and we know Rico Lewis kind of has that roaming role, right? He has that role to drop into the midfield, maybe play wide, hit him in tandem with Oscar Bob. We can kind of see that working. Now, again, we have another game of not being clinical. Again, we have another game of not taking our proper chances. The goals, and I'll get to the goals that we surrendered, but just how we were playing, we looked like a team that were surprised by the lineup. We looked like a team that weren't practicing together. And I don't know, that might be the case. I'm not too sure, but we were not up for it at all. And this is a game where I have the luxury of, okay, yeah, I pay for my subscription to watch the game, but I have the luxury of not having to travel, not having that level of expense, making it work, obviously, within my workday. There's the match-going fans. You guys deserved more. You guys deserved more for today, especially with regards to trying to get a bounce back after the disappointing loss to Newcastle. We got 2 losses on the bounce now. After the momentum that we had, after the excitement that we obviously all had after playing versus Liverpool before the international break, we were amped up, and now we have these 2 losses on the bounce. It's killing me. Now, I also want to say this, and I do this. I wasn't watching the chat, but I watched the chat, and now that I see the chat, we got to shut things down for a second. Despite even me being disappointed with the loss, I got to shut things down. My gal is in the building. Rose, good looking out. Thank you for being a part of the show. Vator, what on earth was that? Damn, Rose, I don't know. I don't know. We want to see each player on our squad to be able to carry their weight, to be able to hold their own. Is this where Pep's like, guys, show me or don't show me, and if you don't show me now, don't question me when you don't get that start. Don't question me when you don't get that sub on, because you got a chance in this game to not. And I'm talking more so from a performance standpoint. These guys did not perform today. If they're going to put the heavy emphasis on Pep, he made way too many changes. Okay, I'll hear it, but I also want us to recognize that these players put in a Champions League game versus Leverkusen did not play well enough. Right, so it's always a combination of manager and player. These players did not take their chance to really show, hey, I deserve to start. Hey, I deserve to be the first or one of the first to be subbed on. It was so disappointing. I'm not gonna kill the squad too much with regards to the goal that they surrendered, other than the fact that they look so disorganized on who's assigned to who or who's to respond to what, right? It was so poor with regards to communication, being on the same page. We know how dialed in it is when we got Diaz and Gavardio with us demanding, commanding. It was so disorganized. The second goal was, and here's where we got it. City fans, we got to give credit. That second goal, we have to give credit. What a placement of the header. That the place where Trafford could not get to. What a well-placed header. And I see the comments. I'm going to get to the comments. Please, on your way into the building, you know what you got to do. Hit that like button. Stick around. Be a part of the show. Those that kind of jump in, jump out, you mess with the algorithm a little bit. Be a part of the show. Even if you're going to pop out, drop a comment. Let me know so I can carry on with that conversation of what you want to have moving forward. Incredibly disappointed for a Champions League game. Now, I'm not going to deal with the Manchester City fans right now. That's something we'll deal with regards to the comments. It's something I'll deal with tomorrow on 115, one question, 15 minutes. But to a player, that starting 11 that I mentioned, no one played well enough to say, Pep, you need to consider me as a starter next game. No one. And when we look at what the club may do with regards to sending some players on their way, saying thank you for your service, we're moving into another direction, I think this game shows a lot on why we all need to be, you know what, club, make your decisions on who stays, who doesn't. We can't have such a drastic difference from those who start to those who don't start. We can't. And I'm not crashing it. I'm not saying that Oscar Bob is not good enough for City. I'm not saying that Savinho are not good enough for City. I'm not saying that. Especially when we look at Marmoush, who got his start. I'm not saying he's not good enough, right? Nori just coming off injury, he's probably got to get into the flow of things. I'm not saying that these guys aren't good enough, but there's such a difference with who Pep has seen and has trusted and who he needs to be able to rely on to actually alleviate some of the minutes, some of the demand that's going to be put on these starters. I think this is what he was attempting to do, and it failed. Don't get me wrong. It did not work. But as a manager, he's got to try it. He's got to test it. Should he have made subs early? No, right? I think when he made the subs second half, let me know in the chat if you disagree, but I think even when he made the subs were at the right time. Maybe you want to ask, he puts on Holland sooner, maybe, but it's one of those where if these guys can't show to play, I don't know what else we got to do. I don't know what else we can do. I see you guys in the comments. Let me try to catch up a little bit. Blue goes heavy rotation, Pep roulette. Anyone doing their bets or whatever they do, yeah, if you're trying to do that with Manchester City and Pep, you're in trouble because Pep's all over the place with that. Trevor in the building goes, Pep's insane for that lineup though, man. Was saying it must win. To say that it was a must win and he went with that lineup doesn't make sense. Did he underestimate Leverkusen? Did he overestimate that starting 11? We had so much weaponry on the bench, and this is why I was like, you know what, the bench looks like good soup. We can actually maybe do some changes and get back into it. I'm going to say this, and we're so accustomed to being the standard, right? When others want to say, oh, attack like City or possession like City or build up like City. The one thing that I do want to emphasize here, because we're not the only club that faces these low blocks, right? There's going to be times within the game, and when they go a goal up, we should expect it. When they go up 2 goals up, we should definitely expect it, right? So when they have 5 defenders and they're really going to be compact, the one thing that I am actually yelling for, I'm demanding for, is if they're so compact, hear me out, and I'm going to get a little tactical, all right? Hear me out. If they're so compact, I don't think that Doku being the widest player makes sense, because he's going to have the defender and he's going to have a midfielder and he's out wide. If he beats one, he's not beating 2. If he's going to cut it back, he's cutting it back to an Aït-Nouri or even in some cases going to be O'Reilly. And what is then the threat there? Then it's just a cross into the middle. I think that needs to switch out. Maybe Pep gets here where the defender is the wider player and they challenge or they try to take on the player. So if they do defend, they do or don't, it's a cutback to Doku, and then Doku has the option to cook. This is one thing that I was kind of noticing and I want to see more of. But we don't have that same threat on the right-hand side. We are off balance. I think we do need to see more from a Savinho or an Oscar Bob when they're on that right-hand side to be able to beat a player. Now, Oscar Bob, I like his footwork. Honestly, in terms of how he disguises what he's trying to do, he stands very tall, very upright. It's almost Olise-esque in terms of like nonchalant, lulling you to sleep. Now, I'm not saying that he's Olise, relax everybody, but I like how he's kind of like nonchalant and he does his movement. Now, he needs to get better with the distribution. We hear that all the time with regards to wing play. I watched the game. I was yelling at the TV. And if you don't know this, I like to watch the game a second time. I'm not going to do that tonight, though. I'm going to watch the game maybe tomorrow morning or something. But I like to watch the game a second time with the emotion kind of gone, with the intensity and the tenseness kind of like subdued a little bit. Because I think I'll see more on what was so bad out there. The Pep roulette hurt us. If he had gone, and let's do this in the chat. I want all of you to be a part of this. Thank you so very much. Rose goes on to tell me, she goes, Vator, Holland must always start providing he's available. I don't know. In Champions League, yes. Rose, I agree. In Champions League, he has to start every single time. We know what he's trying to what he means in Champions League, how he's up for it. Especially but we do need to see some rotation at the same time, Rose. We got to see some rotation. We can't have Holland play every single game, and or if he does play, he's got to get subbed off. He can't be doing full 90s all the time. But let me ask everybody in the chat. Let me drink some water like Pep. Hold on. I'm in the press conference too, so I'll deal with some questions. But Pep and the starting 11 that he had, let me know in the chat, first of all. Okay, we're going to start from the back forward, and I see the comments. Would you have had Trafford start this game? Yes or no in the chat. Just let me know. Trafford yes or Trafford no. Would you have started Trafford in this game? We can start there. I'm not too upset with Trafford starting. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be upset with Trafford starting if it was like, hey, let's give Donnarumma a rest because he's going to be playing in Leeds. We're definitely not playing Trafford in the Leeds game. Let's do that, right? Now, if you're going to have Trafford in the net, I don't think we do that many changes defensively. Tony, I see you. Arrogance, sure. One might say that. Underestimating the opposition, possibly. Overestimating how well our players are. All things, right? Trafford getting the start, I'm kind of calm with. Dre P in the building goes Trafford with a regular back four. But thank you. That's where I was getting at. So Trafford's cool. Similar defense. Even if we were to go Diaz, Gavardiol, Ait Nori, Nunez, or Diaz, Gavardiol, Ait Nori, and Evan Kosanov, I think that's okay. Centrally is where we think where I think you need to have things as consistent as possible. Centrally, barking out orders, making sure the line is where it needs to be. I think that's where we need to start. We know the leadership that Diaz provides, even though some may want to question his pace and things of that nature. But how he anticipates, how he commands the line, I think is what we needed. I'm seeing Ake shouldn't start. Ake can't play left back anymore. I think he can play left center back. I don't think he can play left back anymore. But Ake needs to be in tandem, I think, with a Diaz. Diaz is the consistent, in my opinion, in terms of keeping that line on point, right? Now, when we go to the midfield, if we go Nico Gonzalez, calm, right? I think we're all calm with that one, him playing again, but play again and not have to play a full 90. Reinders, again, I'm okay with Reinders too. I know many of you are going to be like, I don't want to see Rico Lewis in that midfield. Okay. You don't see Rico Lewis start. All right. I'm okay. You don't see Rico Lewis start. I see your comment, Rose. I'm going to get to you. You don't see Rico Lewis start. Okay. So maybe we go Nico Gonzalez, Reinders, and I don't like how Foden got stepped on in that Newcastle game. A lot of physicality. Is that the thinking on why Pep didn't have, or why Pep had so much rotation with the rest of the midfield? But if you think of physicality, Nico Gonzalez played a lot, and he was fighting all game long with that physical midfield. Nico Gonzalez, Reinders, and I think we go Foden. I think Foden would have been nice, or Shirky. One of the two. Let's have that tandem in the middle. Now, up front, Marmoush getting a start. I think we should all be calm. We know the quality that he is. And I know Rose said that Holland needs to start. If he's available, he needs to start. But Marmoush starting, I'm actually okay. I think we missed that creative element centrally. And again, I see Rico had a poor game. In terms of how he was passing the ball forward. And he was looking for a couple of 1-2s that weren't there, but he wasn't passing the ball well, in my opinion. And then Savinho and Oscar Bob. I'm not going to be one to say that both of them are crap. Both of them aren't good. But I think we have too many weaknesses from the two of them for the both of them to start. If I'm asking Pep, let's not see this again. Let's not see this again in like tough games or at the start of games. Hear me out. Let's not see that grouping. Let's not see Savinho and Oscar Bob to start a game. If they get subbed on and through a point, both of them are on that pitch, cool. But I don't want to see them start a game. I don't think they're at the level yet. Now, I'm not saying that they can't get there. I don't think they're at the level yet. And that game was painful to watch. I like that I'm able to talk with you guys. You guys are in the chat sharing your opinions and we're able to go back and forth, because if I'm elsewhere, I'm getting interrupted. Agendas get piled on with regards to how to deal with the post-match. And I like that we're able to have this convo. As much as I know that you guys are probably jumping back and forth with other people talking about the game. Rose goes, Vator, he doesn't need to play in the domestic cup. Prem and Champions League is crucial games. I hear it. But Rose, I want that League Cup bad. Rose, I want that League Cup bad. But I hear you. We should rest him for everything non-Prem and UCL. Rico, no forward pass. I see that, Sam. Disappointing. Can't start. He can't start in this game. Dre P, he can't start in this game, but we're going to need everybody to contribute. We're not a complete squad yet. We don't have that dominance yet. These players need to raise their level, and they only raise their level by being able to play. Everyone will tell you that you play and you improve. But that loss, Marmoush starting was okay, but he should have had service. Yeah, and that's why I think, again, Pep doing his experiment and now realizing in the middle of the pitch, we're not going to get that creativity from Nico G and Reinders. We're not getting that yet. If we're going to say they need their handheld or they need someone to be that focal point, it's Shirky or Foden. One of those two need to be in the central part of the midfield. They have to be there. I saw the comment, Rico not starting. Okay, Rico Lewis doesn't quite have it. He tends to want to work in twos. He doesn't quite have it yet. Hey, good looking out, AJ. Everybody in the building. I don't even have YouTube studios up, but how many people are here watching now? I hope we're matching with the same amount of likes. That would be greatly appreciated. And helps this channel. And I'm trying, actually, maybe I gotta pay attention because I don't want to miss out. I'm on 1,114 subs, and I wanted to screen grab when I get to 1,115. I'm not there yet, so I've been keeping an eye on that. So, okay, yeah, I'm still at 1,114. I'm weird like that. I want to I want to take a screen grab of, and I got to find some fun somewhere else. But I want to take a screen grab when I get to 1,115. As silly as that is. But let me actually open this up so I can be in the studio where I should be. But everyone, thank you so very much for the likes and for being a part of the show. Now, let me get back to where I was. Marmoush on his own would struggle against low blocks, and any striker is going to struggle with a low block without service and without someone to maybe play the ball off of. There needs to be movement. There needs to be 1-2s. There need to be triangles. We're not doing that. There is a little too much of the side to side. And one thing that I will say, here's for any Arsenal fans in the chat, here's one thing that I will say. We used to do this a lot and we've gotten away from it. Maybe it's because we no longer have KDB or we have Rodri, because I remember these type of passes coming from them. But just that little float, that little lob over the top, right? Just a little, made the defense have to track the run in behind. We used to do that a lot, right? The KDB would disguise it and just slip a pass in. And we need to do that. We need to keep the defense honest, and that's something that could help Marmouche. That's something that could help Holland when we're facing these low blocks. We just need to do better. This game had me incredibly frustrated. I don't think it's the end of the world with regards to Champions League. I don't think this now means that we're going to be facing something similar to last season where we go on a poor run. But to have lost to Newcastle, to follow that up with a loss today hurts bad. And now it's one of those where, are we only going to be dominant if we have the same 11 or the same 12? That's not good. I know it's all about get the results, right? Results-based business, get the result. But it's not good if we can only rely on getting results from a few, like 11 or 12 players. We can't keep playing the same players all the time. It's not going to work. We're going to get burnt out. We're going to get figured out because we're not going to have the variance in terms of style of play, the different hiccups. Yeah. Rose goes, Vator, I'm watching no one but you help heal my broken heart. I'm trying, Rose. I'm trying to come. So with this game, let's also put this in perspective. And maybe I'll have a clear head next time. But we can put this in perspective with regards to we've dropped points again in the Champions League. We need to obviously do our best to be in the top 8. Therefore, we don't play any extra games. But if we have to play some extra games, it's not the end of the world. We've seen that, obviously, with PSG. I think our next game now is where I'm trying to help you out, Rose, because I'm trying to help myself. Unfortunately, the next game that we play is Real Madrid in the Champions League. The next game that we play is against Real Madrid in the Champions League. So this is where we've got to, I don't want to say be perfect, but now we can't afford to drop 2 games in a row. Champions League wise, we can't do that. We've now dropped versus Leverkusen. We're gonna play Leeds on Saturday. We're gonna play Fulham on Tuesday. Yeah, we're gonna play Fulham on Tuesday. Then we play Sunderland, and following the Sunderland game, we're gonna be playing the Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Next Champions League game is away. You know what? Let me try to calm. Let me just. I'm all over the place. I'm not liking this. Ack in the building. I see you, AJ. AJ goes, Vator, where on earth has the standards gone? But where have the standards gone? The standards have not changed. We play to win every trophy. But to play to win every trophy doesn't mean you win every game. Right? There's no giving up. There's no this season's a write-off. It's a, hey, and I've seen my manager do this. You've been asking to play. You've been kind of questioning who's been playing ahead of you. I'm giving you your start. Show me. Unfortunately, many players didn't show Pep. Now, when Pep goes back to, hey, I'm playing this 11 or I'm only making 1 or 2 changes, y'all are going to have to understand why. Everyone's going to have to accept that. The standards haven't gone anywhere. Ack in the building goes, well done, Pep. This is on you. Yeah. And Pep's always one. Pep doesn't shy away from owning the success. The one thing that he does is credit to the players. When the losses happen, he got it wrong. He does that often. Now, some dismiss it and say he's just playing games, but he owns those losses 100%. Klopp and Arteta do well with the similar 11 straight through. That's why they struggle to win more than 1 trophy a season. Pep and City always won more because of that rotation. And it's his philosophy. Many may not agree. Many may say, you know what, you got to adapt. You don't have the squad that you had before. You can't be showing the same type of rotation. He's set in his ways and I agree with it to a large degree, because if you have that rotation philosophy, you do bring players along to, one, have them improve, right? Show them that they do belong to be in the rotation or be a part of the mix. And then at the same time, what it does? It exposes whether they're good enough or not. This is the one thing it's going to expose on whether. Now, he doesn't doesn't crash it on them. He doesn't say that these players he wants shipped out, but it does expose. And maybe from a fan base standpoint, we just need to be like, they may not be good enough this season for us. I hate it. I hate it. And again, football's in cycles. Right now, if we want to talk UCL, I think the last I saw, favorites are Bayern and Arsenal. I think when it comes down to the Prem, the favorites are Arsenal. We have a season where we need to overcome clubs that are better than us. There's no shame in that. It's actually what makes winning special, right? Winning is the favorite. You got to prove that you still remain the favorite or that you earned the right to be the favorite. But then there's also winning when people kind of count you out and it's not your time to win it. This is one of those seasons for us. We have to go out and improve quickly. AJ goes, some advice. If Pep doesn't win anything this season and you don't sack him, he becomes like Arsene Wenger. No, we can't. Pep's only been here. It's going to be 10 years. It's not going to be anything like Arsene Wenger. I hear what you're trying to warn us, AJ, but it's a lot more than post a four-peat for him to go the Arsene Wenger route, especially after the fact that he did make it to a final, right? No trophy. I'd be surprised if that happens to us this season, and I'd be surprised on us crashing out of no trophies with poor performances. I think it's going to be a result of really good football, really good gameplay for that to be the case. Sam goes, AJ, whatever you say, buddy, we know Pep is better than Wenger. I see AJ's got a flex. He's in a good place these days. He should. He's got a big game tomorrow. He's able to watch today and have his chuckles, have his laughs. I'm not mad at it. I appreciate him being in the chat. And we'll see what the convo's like after tomorrow. We'll see what the convo's like after the Chelsea game as well. How well have you done since Wenger, AJ? They're asking. And AJ's, he won't have much to say. He's in a tough place, but he's got all the right to be confident with this season. And again, for a fan base that will show patience, and I'm not saying that all of Arsenal fans show patience, but AJ may be one of them. It's like you get rewarded for your patience. You get rewarded for being considered favorites for the Prem, favorites for the UCL with a couple seasons of not being at your best. It happens, and this is why I'm also a lot calmer when it comes down to some of these things. I wanna point out, I have tomorrow. I haven't quite done the show yet, set it up, but I will set it up. What time? I'm gonna set up a 115, one question, 50 minutes. Not sure what the question is gonna be. Maybe it's like, why did Pep rotate so much? I'm curious to see what he says in the press conference. And I'll probably also address some of the poor performance we saw in the game versus Newcastle. But look out for me with a 115 tomorrow, probably around 4 p.m. UK time. And I have to do the continuation to CIA Intelligent Agendas. It got cut cut short because I had to deal with some family stuff. But we got a packed week. We got 115. I got to do the continuation to CIA, and then Why Always Me. Most likely, I'll do a Why Always Me on Thursday. Why Always Me on Thursday would make a lot of sense because I'll have the results, obviously, of what happened today. I'll have the results of what happened with regards to Wednesday. A nice series of questions that we can tackle with regards to Why Always Me. But it's going to be one of those. What's AJ saying in the building? So they're asking AJ how have things been since, and AJ goes, Sam, I fully agree with Pep better than Arsene Wenger, but that's not my point. Arsene Wenger stayed way too long. You can't let Pep do that. Pep is a serial winner, AJ. A serial winner. Every time he plays a game, manages a game, it's like another milestone, right? He's doing things that no manager before him has done. So he's special that way. For him being a serial winner, he's going to say it's no longer my time before he feels tired or before someone tells him to go. I'm confident of that. I'm confident that he's going to do that himself. J Dub in the building. How well did Arsenal do with Wenger after 2004? Now, it's been tough times, right? It's been 2 decades, but like AJ and other Arsenal fans, they can talk heavy now. What? They're 7 points ahead of us, 6 points ahead of Chelsea. Like, they got a good squad. I see why AJ's flexing. I see why he's flexing now. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. AJ, I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna speak for Rose. I'm gonna speak for Sam. I'm gonna speak for Dre P. Everybody in the building. You gotta be here if it doesn't go the right way either. You see, I'm doing a post-match, terrible result, terrible performance. I'm here. I gotta see you. If it happens to be a poor performance from Arsenal or the chest that you got, right? I know you're in the gym, you're benching, that chest is out, you're making the pecs jump. I need you to be here. If it doesn't go, let's have the conversation. And we're going to be respectful just like we are right now, but I need you to be here. I want to thank each and every one of you in the comments. I want to also thank you for the likes. I'm going to do my part to do more of this. To go through number of shots taken, XG, and all that kind of stuff. We watched the game. That was a poor performance. And again, if we're going to summarize it, a lot of it has to do with Pep and the rotation that he applied. A lot of it also has to do is that we're seeing that these players, they need more. They need more time. They need to raise their level and they need to be consistent. And we'll see what Pep decides to do with the Leeds game. We've got a lot of games coming back to back, right? We're going to have Leeds that I just mentioned, and we need that win. We can't, 2 losses on the bounce. Can't make it a third. So shout out to each and every one of you. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you're catching this on the replay, you didn't catch this from the beginning, be a part. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know, Vator, I agree with what you're saying. You're on point. Or be like, Vator, you're way off. What game did you watch? Let me know in the comments. We'll have the conversation. I like doing this, and as disappointed as I am, as rough as it is, my escapism will be. I don't even have it nearby. My escapism will be for me to put the music up loud, get a workout in, and yeah, music, workout, that'll be me. I'm going to come back to you guys tomorrow in better shape. Thank you, each and every one of you. Hit the like button on your way out. Comment if you're catching this on the replay. And I'm Vator Games. I'm walking out of the press conference like Pep. Take care. Actually, let me do this properly. I'm going to walk out like Pep.